guys? Gonna bring you another knife review today. Gonna be my second one. I'm gonna try and do knives that I pick up that don't have a lot of reviews on YouTube. I'm not gonna come in here and start reviewing Manxes and paramilitary 2s and Benchman 940s. Because, well, you guys know about those already. But I'm going to try and do reviews of knives that people haven't experienced yet, they're not familiar with yet, maybe not familiar with an entire brand. Yeah. So, this is the next one I'm going to do. This knife is called, from a company called Nemisis Knives. This is the Nemisis Manx, spelled M-A-N-X. This is kind of another, I guess you would call it a budget titanium framelock knife. We'll talk about pricing later on because I think it's a big factor in this knife and whether or not you'll like it. And my pricing was quite a bit different than what yours most likely will be. But I'm just going to give you an overview, a review, and we'll talk about the pricing at the end. So, this is the Nemisis Manx. Overall, it's a pretty small knife. I think the blade length on this is about 3 inches. So, in terms of a knife that I would carry every day, it's a little bit small. I would carry it more for around, around the house stuff. I wouldn't use this at work. It's just a little bit too small blade size for me. So on this side we've got, as you can see, we've got a carbon fiber inlay, and this is a black anodized aluminum on this side, and the other side is just plain bead blasted titanium. And then you've got your black end one position, tip up pocket clip, right hand only. I am left-handed, so, but it's okay. You get used to it. The blade steel on this one is VG10. So, as you can see, it's a sheep's foot blade. Very nice blade shape. The whole overall design of this knife is what attracted it to me in the first place. I just think it looks nice with the satin sheep's foot blade, even the black sheep's foot blade. I like the blade shape, blade profile. I like the handle materials, carbon fiber and titanium. You got these sexy blue anodized aluminum backspacers. Let me get that to focus. Okay. Those are aluminum backspacers, not titanium, anodized. It does give a little pop color to this knife that I do like. There you can see laser etched Nemisis knives. Logo. Focus, there we go. Deployment method is via thumb disc on this knife. Deployment is a little bit of an issue on this blade, in my opinion. If this thumb stud had a little bit of, jimping along this to add just some grip when you're trying to deploy it. Right now it's got the chamfered edges, and it's very smooth, and your thumb tends to slip off of it. Other than that, the D10 is very strong. So that does aid in deployment when you do get it. I'm not sure what kind of washers this rides on. I'm not taking it apart yet, but I've oiled it and it is very smooth. Very, very smooth. Let's see. Right-handed, this knife is easy to deploy slowly with the thumb disc. If you look, you have to make sure you keep your fingers off the lock bar because that strong D10. But if you just use a pocket clip, and it's very easy to pop open with your thumb right-handed, slowly like that. But to get into the proper grip to flip it open with your thumb, it's very hard. It is possible. As you can see, it's just kind of awkward and not natural, hard to do right-handed. Spidey finger flick works pretty well. That just makes sure that your fingers stay off that lock bar, and it opens very fast and easy like that. Right-handed. Left-handed as I am. Obviously, you don't have any of the issues with the thumb pressing against the lock bar when you're trying to flip it open. So that is a little bit easier left-handed. It's hard to do on camera here. Opening it slowly is pretty easy. Sometimes your thumb can just put a little bit too much tension on that when you're trying to get it in there against that thumb disc, and it'll make it pretty hard to open slowly like that. But the quick snap from your thumb, you just dig it in there, get in there. It is very easy to snap open. Left-handed with your thumb. Spidey flick, I would say no. Left-handed because your thumb's going to want to rest right on that lock bar. So deployment methods, there are various deployment methods. Just takes a little bit of getting used to. Let's look at the lockup. As you can see, the lock bar is very thick in comparison to the tang of the blade. There's your lockup. Made in China. So this is another China-made knife. I don't have any lock stick. The lock is there's quite a bit of tension on the lock, so it takes a little bit to get over, to push it over. It's not hard by any means. I think it's really just the right amount of pressure to put on the lock piece, or lock bar. So as you can see, there is no lock bar stabilizer on this blade. But good luck. Use one hand pushing that far enough over to bend it. This pocket clip does kind of act like a lock bar stabilizer. You can definitely feel it. And it just adds that the pocket clip tension to the lock bar, and it makes it extremely hard to bend or damage in any way while unlocking with one hand. You can pretty much just bend it all, disengage it all the way out to the pocket clip, and it'll stop. Nice blackened pocket clip there, 2 screws holding it on. Come on, camera, focus. Held together by Torx screws. Hardware is also all blackened. There's the carbon fiber. Carbon fiber does look very nice on this knife. It's not completely smooth. You can feel the texture of the fibers. I like it. One issue is these 2 screws that hold the inlay onto the aluminum scale. I don't know if you can see it. They do stick through slightly on the aluminum scale, but I have not had any problems with the blade rubbing up against them or scratching the blade up with them or anything. The blade centering is just about perfect, pretty good. I'd say it favors the aluminum side a slight bit. You can see this knife, when I got it, it had this scratch on the titanium side. Just a slight scratch on that titanium corner there. I purchased mine off eBay. All the corners are nicely chamfered here. Even the top of the blade. You can see that. The edges are chamfered right here. It's a nice touch, I like it. Nice hologram blade, 6-foot blade. I'll wipe this off for you guys. It's a beautiful blade, nice satin finish, nice and even. Small imperfection. So they look like they might have burned the tip of the steel when they were grinding it. Just the tip slightly discolored, brown, bronzed from heat. Sharpness, initial sharpness was extremely impressive. It was very, very, very sharp. Of course, VG10 does take a very fine edge. I had no issues. It's still very sharp. Like I said, I've not carried this to work or anything. I've just used it for small tasks around my apartment, and it is still extremely sharp. See, cutting my skin right there, actually. Disengaging the lock bar is pretty easy. As you can see, there's a little cutout right there for you to get to it. You look at that strong D10. Snatch it right down. There we go. Overall, the fit and finish is pretty good for a knife from China. This is pretty good. Like I said, except for those screws. I'm not going to say that the scratch was there from the factory. It was probably just during shipping or from the dealer I bought it from. Overall, I like it. I think it's a keeper. It's a attractive little EDC blade. With the carbon fiber and the titanium with those blue standoffs. Definitely looks nice. Nice blade. Like I said, I would change this thumb stud. I might see if I can buy one or make one of my own. Maybe add some jimping to this myself, but I definitely want it to be done well. So, as you can see, it's held on by a torque screw there. Jimping on the top of the blade. It's kind of occluded by the handles when it's open. You can't really get to it. It doesn't really do much right here. But overall, ergonomically, the knife is very good. As you can see, full 4-finger grip. I think the ergonomics are very good. The thumb stud, that groove cut out on the top of the thumb stud, it adds grip. Definitely get some good grip with your thumb there if you put your thumb on top of your thumb stud, but it kind of wants to fall. Anywhere on top of this blade is very comfortable to put your thumb if you want to choke up on it. Just because of that sweep sweep style and this the chamfering that they did on each edge there of the blade. No sharp corners. Um, Pretty fine tip on this. Definitely acute enough for EDC tasks. Come on, camera. Another good look at it. I just think overall it's a very good looking knife. I like the blade shape. It's a very unique blade shape. You don't see very many sheepswood blades out there. Materials are top notch. Aluminum, carbon fiber, titanium, and VG10. Price. I've been eyeballing these for a while. Price is generally on Blade HQ. I think they're $99. We're at $100. That does put this for the materials, I think, in a budget titanium frame lock category. That's pretty cheap for the materials. It's a lot of knife for the money. But for me, overall, I think I don't know if $100 is worth it. I think if the price point was more like the $70 to $80 range, it would be a lot more popular. Mine off eBay, I'm a little biased to like this, I think, because mine off eBay I purchased for $55 in auction, and when I received it and saw the scratch, I sent the guy an email, and he refunded me $20 more because of that scratch that was there from right out of the box. So I paid $35 for this, and at that price point, it's definitely worth it. But good luck finding it at that. So yeah, pluses. It's a good-looking knife, very sharp blade, top-notch materials. I like the pocket clip. It definitely holds on enough that it's not obnoxious. Yeah, nothing too special about the pocket clip, but it does its job. Very smooth action, another positive. Lockup is quite solid. I don't have I can wrestle some play into that if I don't let it lock up all the way. But if I'm gripping the knife like I'd use it, I don't feel any play. Side-to-side play, none. It's solid. I'm not sure how this lock bar is going to wear. I don't think the titanium's carburized. The lock face is kind of interesting. It's just kind of cut into like as you can see, it's just kind of partially polished there, kind of sloppily. Another fit and finish issue, I would say. Doesn't leave anywhere for it to wear to. And like I said, unless I'm really putting pressure on the lock bar, I can feel a very small amount of lock rock, I guess you could call it. So those are my thoughts on this Nemisis Manx. Top quality materials, fin finish is they're letting it slip a little bit. I'd like to see better fin finish on this. Then it would be worth the $100, but at the fit and finish levels it's at, I think maybe like $60 to $80 would be asking plenty. If they could fix that thumb stud, it would be a lot better. Just gotta really dig your thumb in, it makes it kind of hard. Yeah, so I'd probably skip on this one, guys. Check out my other, if you want a budget frame lock, titanium frame lock, check out my other review. It's my only other video. It's on the Kaiser. They seem to be very high quality knives from China that are about the same price as this one. Better blade steel, better fin finish, better in almost every way, I would say. Extremely smooth action, all the things you look for in a frame lock or in any knife, really. So check out Kaiser if you're looking for a budget frame lock. They're also made in China with the flawless in execution, in my experience. So that's going to wrap it up for this review. Mediocre knife, guys. For the price that dealers are asking for, I'd say no. If you can get a deal on it like I did, I'd say go for it. Definitely get some use out of it, and it's definitely a pretty knife that you can look at, if anything. So I'll see you guys in the next review, next video. Later.